Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley, also known as Facebook James, coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Well, we are still here. We're still rocking and rolling. We got more of Pali football to discuss tonight. So at the end of the intro, join in on the fun with myself, Coach Smith, and we'll preview the North Hollywood football game and also discuss the win against Southeast. So welcome to another episode of This Week in Pali Football.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Yeah! Stop playing with a P! 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 Stop playing with a P!
Some call it the gridiron.
Nice run, way to skim it.
Others, 100 yards of pay.
Too much.
We just like to call it football.
Football.
With Facebook James.
Football, baby.
Football, baby, indeed. Hey, everyone, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of This Week in Pali Football. And the way I see it, I believe this is week number 11. I can't believe that we have gone so far this season. I mean, 11 weeks of Pali Football, of This Week in Pali Football. So thank you guys for your continued support and just watching. If you're watching live, you can go ahead and drop some comments in the comment section if you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, which is where we are coming to you live from. So join in on the conversation. And then if you happen to watch the replay, just do us a favor, drop in hashtag replay squad. That way we know that you watched the replay and, you're just kind of keeping up with everything Pali football. So thank you for your continued support. So, man, 11 weeks of Pali football. We made it into the playoffs with an 8-2 record. And then last week we had our first playoff game of the season. And, first of all, just congratulations to Coach Smith. And last year it didn't pan out so well when we played against Gardena in our first round opener. But this year we were able to go ahead and get that win, that playoff win. So we'll, talk about that. And then we got this wonderful game coming up this coming Friday. Man, this team, for what I understand, they're the real deal. And so far they're 11-0. They went 10-0 during the regular season. Of course, they won last week. And so that is our next stop on our way to getting into the championship football game. And, hey, we're trying to get this whole thing. We're trying to get the chip over here. Dolphin fam, you got to rise up, come on out and support. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's go ahead and bring on Coach Smith. There he is. Hey, Coach Smith, what's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. First of all, I just want to say congratulations on your first playoff win.
Thank you.
How did it feel to win your first playoff? I mean, second year into, coaching at Pali. Last year didn't work out so well, but this year you were able to put something together and get this first playoff win against Southeast, man. Just kind of talk about some of your emotions and what you thought about as you came away with the win this past Friday.
It's funny. The whole week, it never once went into my mind that this would be my first playoff win. I just went to this game like I normally do, every other week. My main goal is the championship. So, and to be totally honest, I never thought it was my first, playoff win. When we're talking to the kids after the game, Jake, said, "Oh, congratulations on your first win." That's really what it dawned on me. Like, oh yeah, this is my first win. So, it's a good feeling just to be able to get through. Last week, I was, this week is about as nervous as I was since the Westchester game. Those 2 weeks, for some reason, just really had me nervous. So just to get over that hump and get this victory for the kids was my main concern.
Yeah, and that was, like I said, it was a tough game. Tough game against Southeast. They were no slouch. They came in there, and Mr. Rivera, Edward Rivera, came in and he did what he does, which is put the team on his back. But you guys had other plans. So again, congratulations, and I'm hoping that this is going to continue throughout the season because we don't want to just have one. We don't want to win, be one and done. We want to continue to win. So again, congrats, and in the words of late great Kobe Bean, job's not finished. So we got to continue to win. So let's go ahead and recap last week against Southeast. Were they the opponent that you thought they were coming, or after playing them and just kind of reflecting, were they the team that you thought they were going to be, who showed up and played against us on this past Friday?
Yeah, they were well coached. We obviously knew number 5 was their best player. We knew he was going to give us problems just because of the athlete he was, played both ways. He was more of a factor on offense, obviously. I think he had 189 yards rushing and whatever, 3 touchdowns, I think it was, or 4. So, yeah, we definitely knew he was the key to win this game and stopping him. We didn't really stop him, but we were able to do other things to be able to, get the victory. But they were prepared. They were well coached. We knew what they were going to do, and our players stepped up and made the plays that we needed to. We were concerned about their D line. Shots out to the O line, who, they shut 64 and 62 down, and those are my 2 biggest concerns on defense. They weren't even a factor at all the whole game. So, the offensive line has been doing great. Told them before the season we're going to win a championship behind you guys, and they've been proven that they can lead us.
Yeah, no, I was, equally impressed. As I said on my, live stream, he averages 180 yards per game, and he actually looks like, looking at the box score, he earned 182 with 25 carries and 4 touchdowns. Now, I didn't, maybe because of where he was and how he scored, I didn't see him scoring. I didn't realize who did all the scoring for them. But he had 4 of their touchdowns, and actually he had all 4 of their touchdowns. So hats off to them. And like you said, they seemed like they were ready for business. They weren't as large of a team as I have come to know during for high school playoff teams, or it was probably under 30 players, and they still got the job done. They played well, but Pali had some other things in mind, and so let's go ahead and kind of talk about some of the plays, at least for me, that's kind of stood out. So I know in the beginning we elected to receive the ball, which is always a good thing. We want to show how confident we are as relates to passing the ball or running the ball. But as they kicked off to us, they didn't want to mess with the 3-headed monster, which was Max and LeHenry and Harrison. No, they decided to kick to the up backs, a member of the Good Hands team, Nico. And I was just surprised that he got the ball. They kicked off to him up back, and he just took it all the way. What was your reaction, first of all, when you saw that they didn't want to touch our 3-headed monster, but then also Nico running that ball in for 6 points?
It's funny, on Thursday when we do all our we do special teams, but we always kind of finalize our special teams. I looked over at Coach Beck and I said, if I was the opposing team, it would be a nightmare to kick to us, because we have the 3 guys like you mentioned in the back, not to even mention King, who can also take it to the house at any time. But the 3 up backs can take it back at any time. So it's like, who do you kick it to? And then the very next day they kick it to Nico, and he just, like a bullet, just took off and scored. And it was a spark that we needed. It was a little dead during pregame. So as a team, that's exactly what we needed to get the kids just kind of pumped up a little bit. But if I'm watching film and I see our kickoff return, you're better off really on-siding it every time. I don't know what to do, but it's very fortunate to have six guys at any time that can take the ball to the house.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, Coach.
Yeah.
Any guy and Nika almost broke another one later on in the game. So, just as long as you have confidence on those guys who are the upbacks, who are, part of the good hands team. We already know what the three or the four guys in the back. I know King, he didn't play. He was missed, this past Friday. But, you put Max Ajazi, who had a wonderful night. We'll talk about him. But you got Max, you got Harrison, you got LeHenry. Any of those guys can automatically at any time almost, take it to the house. But, it's also good that, our special teams are able to go ahead and get us some points. So that was good planning. Good, we call that in education, good lesson planning right there, because, you kind of want to see what they're, you want to think what they're going to do, and you guys had the right guys up front and, able to go ahead and get that touchdown. Looking at some of the numbers here, Jack Thomas, as usual, Mr. Consistency, 14 of 26, 227, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, and his longest was 55. I know Lynn Henry also had a touchdown. Let's see, who else? And then, Max Ajazi, let's talk about that dude. I mean, he just showed up and showed out, man. Talk about just his dedication and, him being able to kind of put the team on his back. Usually it's Harrison, not to say that he did weak, but, man, Max was in the right place to catch 3 touchdowns, man. Just talk about him and it's just his tremendous play effort this past Friday against Southeast.
Yeah, you look at our roster, or you can look at our team, and the first person you don't really notice is Max. But Max is our best route runner. He's consistent with his routes. He can catch the ball. He has speed that you don't really see. It's deceptive. So people don't really focus on him. They're focusing on King, Henry, or Harrison. So Max just kind of hides out in the corner and just waits for his turn. And when he gets it, he always comes through. I think it was Venice. We needed a big play. We ran a slant and took it to the house when we needed one. Anytime we're in a red zone, his double moves. I mean, everybody bites and he's always open. So I think for Jack, he knows, okay, if the other three aren't working or they're not open, if the focus on them, he knows he has Max on the backside to get it to. So, Max, he works hard. He comes. He knows what he's doing. He knows every position on the field. We could put him in the slot. We could put him outside. And he knows every single route, knows every concept, knows how to run every route in a different position with every concept we're running. So, he's going to be missed for sure next year. But just to see him kind of sit back last year, really didn't get the chance to play much, and to see him step up this year has been really, really good to see.
Yeah, I was, just so excited for the young man. I mean, just, being able to, get open. And, we did have a conversation after the game, and the guys were like, oh, you got an interview with Facebook James. So, and in fact, as we were talking about it, I kind of forgot that I had the interview. So that's kind of where my mind was a couple of moments ago, just trying to make sure that I get that interview. And I will, probably near the end of our interview. Near the end of the show. But yeah, and then, I'm looking over at the stat line as well. Again, Harrison Carter, I think this is the first time in a couple of weeks that he went over 100 yards rushing. He also had 23 attempts for a 101 yard and a touchdown. Again, we already know what he can do. He's a workhorse. He's a heartbeat of the team. I mean, he's real passionate. And I know there was a couple of plays near the end of the game where he was just like, come on, man, get me the ball. He was real demonstrative. But that just kind of speaks to his wanting to win and just his continued support to, kind of put the team on his back and do whatever he can do to ensure a win. Just kind of talk about his heart and just, again, his significance in this particular football game.
Yeah, if you ask Harrison, he wants the ball every single play in the game. So, they all do. Everybody wants to contribute any way they can. But he's super passionate about football. And, when he gets cooking, he wants the ball. He wants to keep getting fed. When he has that look in his eye and he's starting to get upset, we know to feed him because it's hard to bring him down. So. He's just a workhorse. He can catch the ball. Had a couple of catches when we needed it, crucial downs. when we need to run the ball, we can give it to him. And so he's just all around. And even kickoff returns when we need a big play. I mean, he's taken a couple to the house at times we really needed it. So it just goes to his athletic ability.
Yeah, no, it was just great, just for the guys to come on out and play hard, work hard, and I know that's something that you kind of talk about during your prep. And if we can go over and let me see if I can share my screen over here. We'll just kind of dig into some of the stats for the evening. Let me make it a little bit larger because I know my eyes are kind of small. I need to be able to see this on a much larger screen. So let me go ahead and increase it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we were able to score. Looks like we were able to score every quarter, which is, we haven't done that in quite some time. So every quarter we were able to put some points on the board. 14 in the first quarter, 7, 7, and 7. Ended up with 35, and then 11, 7, 0, and then 14 for Southeast. So we know that we can score, and I think our defense played very well as during the game. There were some times when it was kind of scary when even folks on the live stream was like, look, you can't arm tackle, you got to contain and make sure you get number 5 because we know that he's a speedster and we know what he's able to do. But in this case we got the W 32-35, and so we get to move on. There's a couple of things when I looked at it, we kind of touched up on it on the pregame. Man, there's a number. There's a couple of numbers that stand out. So we see in total plays, almost even 64 for us, 57 for them. First downs, 18, 23 for us. But then that penalty line right there, that is crazy. Now, I didn't realize that they had 13. But for our team to have 21, and I think 21 penalties, and I think you kind of described the refs being flag happy. Then 210 penalty yards, which was crazy. And I was kind of frustrated because there were some penalties that like come on, refs, especially when the one where the QB jumped up in the air and they called a personal foul. Talk about what you need to do to clean this up for the next game on Friday against North Hollywood, and just kind of the frustration that you showed during the game, not only you but some of the coaches on the coaching staff at the amount of plays that were called against Pali.
Yeah, to be honest, some of those calls you don't know what to do because they weren't, legit penalties. Like the one where the quarterback's flopping. The referee said, "Well, he hit him while he was in the white." I don't. I find it hard to believe, especially when the guy's flopping. There was another penalty we had after we scored, and the referee literally came over and said, "Your guys are high-fiving in the middle of the field." And I said, when has high-fiving in the middle of the field ever been illegal? He said, "Well, I warned them before, and they were doing some kind of celebration, hitting the bat, and then they high-five." And I said, "Well, what's the penalty on?" He said, "The high five. I warned them." I said, "You can't flag us for a high five. Like that's ridiculous. If you want to flag us for something else, I get it. But to say the flag is for a high five, you're just looking to throw a flag. Like, at that point, I knew it was just going to be, that type of game. Even though that was later on, I just kind of gave up at that point with the refs. But the stuff that we can't control, we just look at film and just try to harp on it during practice. We can penalize them during practice and make them aware of it so they're not, doing it in practice. As far as the offensive side, we definitely, some of those penalties that we did get, like linemen up the field, holding calls, we really decreased them a lot. So just harping on it, practicing it, making them aware of it every day in practice, it has worked as far as the offensive side, and just defensive. We just got to keep doing the same thing. And this week we really have to, because their offense is like they're going to grind. So the more we can get our defense off, keep our defense off the field, and not having penalties and keeping their offense on the field is going to help us.
No, I totally agree. I mean, you can't control some of those, calls, but then, I'm looking at the amount of calls, with false starts and things of that nature. That is something that, probably is coachable. So I know, I know the O-line coach real well, so I'm sure he's going to make sure the boys are kind of a little bit more in sync. Because I did kind of hear him like, okay, lock in, stop making so many, mental errors. Because ultimately, that's where, it could be, it could be on the back of, a special play could be on the back of, any kind of penalty, especially, jumping off sides or something like that. So they got to lock in, and not just O-line. I think everyone has to focus and realize the impact of this game to move forward, because that's what you want to do ultimately. You don't want to go home, right? You want to continue to win and get a chip. And so I know not only O-line coach, but D-line coach, and all the coaches are trying to do what they can to give the kids a mental edge so that they can be their best possible selves during the game. I did kind of want to look at some of the defensive stats, because we always kind of focus in on offense. But you got some, some real dogs, of course. You got your Jakes, you got Connor, Jackson was in there, Cash Allen. So, you had your regular suspects in there doing what they, what is necessary. Mike Tobin, you had your guys. Nico Townsley, again, playing both ways, being on the good hand team, but also making an impact on defense. Were you surprised that they scored 32 points against us, or did you expect that, did you think that we could kind of hold them to a few more points during this football game?
I mean, I'm always surprised when teams score that many on us. I see how we are in practice and the amount of work, and our offense. We score 40 points a game, and against us, they shut us down in practice, which means they're just getting our offense better. So I see the potential our defense has. We just have to put it together in the game. We just haven't done that, and I think they're due. Obviously, playing win T teams, other teams don't pass on us, so we haven't really worked a lot of it in game situations that much this season. And obviously, we're going to play another win T team, but um, you know, obviously, our expectations is to not let the offense score. Scoring 30 points is surprising because I think we are. I know we are a better defense than that, and the defense works extremely hard every day in practice to limit the scoring. Just hasn't happened in games. And that's what it happens. Other teams just they play up and they play us, and then it's hard to play at 100% every single week when every team is giving their best against us. So. There's times we've really hung in there and stuck it. Defense stepped up for the offense and vice versa. So, we're trying to work as a team and help the defense out as much as possible. But as far as the individual players, hasn't got any looks is Adrian Romero. He's our freshman D tackle who's played lights out the last two weeks. And it doesn't show up on the stat sheet just because he's interior. He doesn't get the sacks or a lot of the tackles, but the way he's plugging the holes, putting pressure on the offense has been tremendous. And to have this kid another 3 years and the experience he's getting, he's gonna be a nightmare for our league for the next 3 years.
No, that's wonderful. I mean, and then you look at some of our losses as well. Now, I'm not saying that we don't play defense. I'm saying, the main thing is that we score more points than our opponents. So, the game against Brentwood, 33-30, right? Venice, 45-44. So there, this was another close game, and so both offenses were potent. They knew what was necessary to get the win, and so again, our offense just happened to get a little bit more points, which is a good thing because we get a chance to live another day. We sent some guys home, and so we're kind of happy. We celebrate for that one Friday, and now it's kind of time to lock in and get ready. Get some healing going on, and hop into this next round. Round two it's not going to be a slouch. It's going to be something that's it's going to be a tough game. Let me just say that.
Definitely.
And so, our boys need to be ready. And, I'm hoping that they will show up because there's only so much coaching that you guys can do. It's up to the boys to kind of execute. And, of course, coaches make adjustments during the game. And so hopefully they're locked in and they'll be ready to play against North Hollywood this coming Friday, which is our next opponent. What do we know about North Hollywood?
Like I said, they run the wing T. They run it very well. It's obviously going to be the best wing T team we see all year. I always stumble on that. They played Granada, or Granada played them very close last week, and everybody saw what we did to Granada. But they're sound. They have one or two really good running backs who they can give to at any time. So we have to be balanced and focus on both of those guys. The team physically reminds me of Brentwood. They don't look very athletic. Nobody's going to wow you with their size or athletic ability, but they do everything sound. They're well coached. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're trying to cause chaos to the quarterback. So you're going to see a lot of man, a lot of blitzes. So they're gonna come after us. So we have to be ready.
Yeah, that double wing T. We kind of opened the season with wing T teams at the beginning of the year. So we faced Roosevelt, we faced Granada, and there was another team too we faced. Can't think of it right now.
Harvard Westlake ran a little bit of wing T as well.
Yeah, so we just have to figure it out, and hopefully the boys will bring their hard hats because, as you can see, even against Granada Hills, Granada Hills was able to put up 30 points. And again, they outlasted and had 36 points. So it's going to be a high-flying act with, both of our high-energy offenses. Excuse me, high-energy offenses. So we got to get ready. Let me see if I can go into the details, and hopefully an ad won't pop up. Let's get over here. So you can see our bracket right there. And 11-0, 9-2. And, here's some fun facts. Team scoring, it's right there, 38.9 and 38.7. So, both teams know how to score, and let's hope that we can score some more points than they do. Palisades rushing yards per game. Wow.
Well, they don't pass at all, as you can see. So that's
okay.
Not surprising.
So they're doing like Granada Hills did a couple of years ago when we played. I forgot my man's name. I know his last name was Staley.
Yeah.
I think Dejan Staley. I think they passed maybe once when we played them in the championship, and then maybe once when we faced them in the season. Okay, so again, 396 yards. This is my first time seeing this. So again, our defense needs to bring their hard hats. They don't pass that much, 46 yards. We're averaging 225. And you see the total yards per game, 442 as opposed to 368 tackles per game. They know how to tackle. Getting 77 and a half sacks. We're at 68. And then sacks per game, points per game, 38, 39. So, and then you see some of the team leaders right here. Omar, man, 192 by himself. Let's see what else. He's the man over there. So we're gonna have to do what we can to contain and stop this young man. Now, let me ask you. Maybe this is a little bit more of a coach's question. With him being able to score so many yards, not necessarily a touchdown, but gain so many yards, are you guys gonna put a linebacker or have someone kind of eye him as he's moving around, trying to dance around and get some yardage during the football game?
Well, like I said, they have two guys that can run the ball, so we have to really be aware of everybody. The quarterback actually can run the ball pretty well too, so we can't just that's the thing with them. What's tricky is we can't just eye on their best guy because they have two other guys that can run the ball, and if we don't pay attention to them, they can kill us as well. So we'll be focused on him for sure, obviously, but we also have to pay attention to the quarterback because they do like to run with him a lot, and then number 11, who can also run the ball a bit. So we'll be keeping all our eyes on all of them for sure.
Be like, I spy with my little eye,
Right,
number
exactly.
6 and number 11 running. We going to stop containment. And so, and I think that was one of the things that a lot of the viewers were saying, because they were looking at, a Southeast getting loose. And, Edward Rivera, they're like, look, stop trying to arm tackle. And I think that's maybe something that I've seen across high school football, especially at Pali. I've seen a lot of folks trying to arm tackle. It's like, no, you can't arm tackle. You gotta wrap up, right? You gotta wrap up, and once someone wraps them up, then you get that second guy to come in and lay a nice little hit. So. I know you guys are putting together a wonderful game plan, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll. Now, how do you feel with going to North Hollywood instead of playing at home? There is another chance if we win, and I think the other team in our bracket,
Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah, if they
Eagle
win.
Rock.
What do we call that wishful thinking on my behalf? Yeah, just being on the road and just the importance. What can you tell the guys in terms of trying to help them get a focus? And because we played so many games this season at home. How will you kind of help them make their mind shift from playing at home to playing all out on the road?
It's just a different. If we get ready, ready differently. Our routine is different, so we have to kind of find that routine that works for us on the road. I think the uni game, well, that was our last road game. I think we found that, and I just say that because we played uni. Just our focus was different. The way we came out was different. Our timing was different. Getting there, getting prepared before the game. Um, So I think this week we're going to leave early to make sure we're at the game on time. That way we're not rushing to get off the bus and get ready. I think that's what hurt us against Harvard Westlake when we came out slow. We got there kind of late. Guys were still getting tape when we're supposed to be warming up. So our routine was just kind of out of whack. So just keeping them focused, making sure we still do our walkthrough at a certain time, making sure we're dressed, getting ready for warm up at the same time we normally would at home. Hopefully we're hyper this week than we were last week, and just really getting ready to play energy wise early enough so when the game starts we're ready to go.
Now, do we have any injuries? Now, I know we talked about King being absent. Is he returning this week? And then are all of our guys ready to go? Some of our, starters. Do we have any injuries that we need to be concerned about, or everyone is good to go, nice and healthy to play against North Hollywood this Friday?
Yeah, everybody. There was no injuries Friday night, which is great. We have two starters out. They're both supposed to be coming back this week, so we should be at full strength this week. Liam, our center, he's been dealing with an ankle injury, but he's ready to go. It's one of those things where it's gonna bother him for the rest of the year, so he just has to play through it. But as far as everybody else, we're all good to go. We're 100%, and I think it's the first time in almost a month or two that we've had everybody back. Even Josh, who was out the Harvard Westlake game, he played a little bit Friday, so I know he's itching to get back full time. So we're finally getting everybody back at the right time. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it was good to see him in uniform. I didn't actually, I'm sure I saw him play, but I didn't see when he went in. But it was just good to see him, because he's always, been one of the captains walking out with the guys at the 50-yard line at the beginning of the game. So to see him in uniform, that was kind of like a good thing. So just kind of excited for him, just to be out there and experience some some Pally football because I believe this is his senior year, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just good to see him out there walking, and I know he had a couple of injuries at the beginning of the season, then he got injured again and had to sit out. So just to see him back on the field, was a good thing. And just again looking at this bracket, man, this is something that's doable. North Hollywood, we want everyone to come out now, and that's what I wanted to ask you. You seem, well, not you, but I know a lot of the students, the student section was missing this past week, and so when we get to the playoffs, I know that you're going to have a boatload of parents and Pally, the Pally regulars, aunts, uncles, mom, dads, uncles, cousins. They're going to show up, but we kind of need a little bit more support, especially as we, travel to North Hollywood. So what could you say to encourage our Pally football supporters to come on out and, not just be an observer, but be a participant, be loud, making noise? What would you say to those supporters who you would want to show up at North Hollywood and support this Pally football team?
I think our kids really feed off the crowd. You could totally tell the difference between the students being there and not being there. Not saying that the parents weren't great and weren't loud as they could be, but when you have a whole another couple hundred, fans out there, you could really tell the difference. Excuse me. I heard the parents boo, so they were loud. They were loud when they brought the boo birds out. So that was great too. That's as loud as I heard the crowd. But no, I think this year is something special. I always tell the kids, I think this year we really have something special going on, and I want all the fans to be a part of that as well. Come out and support. This will be our first trophy in the school's history, and if all the fans come out and support that and be a part of that, that would be great. The kids work hard to bring the school and the parents something, that trophy back home, and all those students who go to Pali can say, "Hey, I was at the school when my football team won the first city section in school history." So, at least come out and be a part of that if that's something they want to be a part of.
Now, Coach, I told myself I wasn't going to ask this question, but at what point were they booing?
It was between the 10th and the 21st flag that the referee threw.
Okay. So they were booing the refs, not booing.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
No, not booing us. I hope they weren't booing us, but definitely during the second half when the refs were throwing the flags.
Absolutely. Now, we want everyone to come on out and just have a wonderful time. Now, we know the usual suspects. The parents are going to show up, or the players, but this is going to be a special moment. We need everyone to come on out, show some support for our Pally football team. Again, they're trying to do something a little bit different this year. We're trying to not only get back to a championship game, but the goal really is to win, not only get there, but also win against, whoever it is that we're playing against. So we don't have to worry about some of our other Western League opponents. What was your feeling and your thoughts behind Venice losing their first round game to Franklin, 17-28, and then it looks like Westchester is still in the playoffs. So let's just kind of focus in on some of our Western League football teams. Venice is out; they played against Franklin. How did you feel about them, our rivals, being kind of knocked out of the playoff bracket?
Honestly, I called that game. I told the coaching staff, I said, I think Franklin's going to beat Venice just because, Venice was ranked low all year long. They jumped over everybody just because they won our league, but they were still team-wise and lower seeded. Franklin has a good program. They're always consistent. So I kind of knew Franklin would get that game. I was honestly surprised about the Westchester game. After the game Friday, I was told they had lost, so I was kind of shocked. And then I get home, and then I saw that they had won. So, Westchester, they've been playing well all season long. Still a little shocked that they had won that game just because of the team they played. But I hope we see them in the finals. It's set up that way, and I'm sure they want to see us again and knock us off. But I wouldn't mind seeing them again if we both make it that far.
Yeah, no, actually, I think that was me who told you that that Westchester had lost. And I think when I was looking at it at the end of our game, it was showing that they were down with a couple of minutes left to play in the game. So
Okay.
I was just going under the impression that they actually lost. So again, when I woke up this Saturday morning, I saw that they won. I was like, oh, okay. So that's cool for the Western League. We still got 2 teams in our bracket, and so hopefully, we can continue to do what we really focused on what we can do, and that's the only thing you can do is just really focus on playing Pali football. And again, the name of the game is playing hard, playing well, scoring more points. So if it's 60 to 59, I don't care. Just as long as we get that 1 point, we'll figure out the defense later. It might not be a defensive game. It might be an offensive game. So, we know that we can score. We can see based on max preps, we can see that they know how to score. So who knows what's going to happen? We just know that it's going to be a wonderful football game. We want everyone to come on out and support and, see this, we're just going to have a good game this coming Friday. So come on out. Now, the time, has that been set already? Is it 7 or 7:30?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah,
and so hopefully the tickets will be available on GoFan. I know as we move into the playoffs, it might get a little, sometimes some of the schools might have their own ticket booth, but hopefully, ticket information will be sent out, and as well as the location of North Hollywood. So we'll focus on that in social media, make sure everyone knows, how to get the game or how to purchase tickets to the game and game time and any other particulars in terms of address and things of that nature. So we'll make sure we put that out. Coach, I do want to show this one interview with Max, and then afterwards we'll come back, give you the final words, and then we'll close out the show.
Sounds good.
All right, so we had the opportunity to talk to Max after our football game this past Friday, and so these are some of the words, and let's go for it.
We love Max.
Hey, man, Max.
Yeah. This boy a guy right here. This guy right here. Let's go.
Hey, man, congratulations, dude. So, Max Ajazi, number 2, man. Tell us, you got 3 touchdowns tonight, man. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And then also you're able to get to the next round, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of these touchdown passes because they were kind of remarkable, especially that last one. I didn't see your feet. I just saw your upper torso, man.
Yeah.
Tell us about that first touchdown, man, and just how you scored on these boys. Yeah.
The first one, it was very simple. We moved your nephew, right?
Yeah.
Henry.
Yeah.
We moved him to outside. I used to be outside. I went in slot. Harrison just got us the first down, and I went up there, ran a corner route. Dude wasn't even anywhere near me. Just caught it. Easy touchdown. That's
Absolutely.
all it was.
Absolutely. And then the second one, I can't remember the second one. I'm sure you do.
The second one, yeah. It was a little slant route. It's my specialty, I would say. Usually all my touchdowns come from it. It was a little RPO action. So we were in a slant. We were on like the 15 or something. Just caught the ball, juggled it a little bit, got a little scared. It's okay. Caught the ball in the end zone.
Absolutely. And then that last one, that clutch pass at the end, like I said, man, I was so zoned in. With your upper torso, I didn't have a chance to look down because you were right there next to me when you came to the sideline, man. Talk about that touchdown number 3, man.
So that play, it was Mustang. We've been working on it all week. We changed it a little bit. We made it into it's a slant corner. I just ran my route. I don't know, DB slipped a little bit, got in the back of the end zone, Jack threw a perfect ball. Caught it like that. I caught it with I think I got 1 foot in. I was so focused on catching the ball, I didn't even see.
Okay.
Ref said it was a touchdown. It was a touchdown.
There you go, man. So what kind of feeling did you have, as a result of having 3 touchdowns tonight?
I was just happy to step up for my team. As you know, King Demetrius, he was out for this game, but we're going to have him back next week. I just knew someone needed to step up. Did my job. Happy to get my first playoff win, man.
Absolutely. And then you played hard against the Southeast, 35-32. Just talk about your mentality coming into this particular game in a must-win situation.
I was just thinking back to last year when we played Gardena in the first round. I just knew it was such an important game to me. I remember that feeling of when we lost, and I knew we had to go get one. So This whole week we've been preparing. We had great practices all week from every player. Ricardo went in for King. He stepped up. Everybody stepped up. Everybody had a good game. And I just knew we had to win. That's all it was.
Next week you face North Hollywood. They're 10-0 going into the playoff game, and they won tonight, so they're 11-0. They defeated Granada Hills.
Yes, sir.
You're on the road.
Yeah.
So what about your mentality going into a North Hollywood next week?
I just know the defense knows, everybody knows it should be just a basic routine game. We've already played 4 wing T teams, I think. We know what it's like. We know how to deal with them. Should be a good game.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, man. Go ahead and celebrate.
Thank you.
And wonderful game, Max and Jazzy.
Yes.
Now, I heard you might be one of the fastest players on the team. Is this true?
Maybe. It might be true.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, man, on the win, and we'll see you next week in North
Yes, sir.
Hollywood.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so just, Guy was so happy to, kind of get those 3 touchdowns. And so, he's been grinding all season. And, just based on what he said, he was reflecting on last year's loss. And so that kind of, that's what he was locked in. He didn't want to face that again. He wanted to get Coach another opportunity to play. And so, good guys step up. He said King wasn't there. He knew somebody had to step up, and so he just took it up on his shoulders to do his thing and make the plays for the Pali football team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, last year he didn't really get a chance to show what he could do. But this year he's totally stepped up, and just super happy for him. He's been consistent all year long with whatever we needed, and he's getting his chance and he's making the most out of it. And, him being a singer, excuse me, him being a singer, Coach Lahivia always says, win your last game as a senior. And I think that's what all these kids, these singers want to do. So they'll step up and do what it takes to keep this season going.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I think we've come to the end of another show. Just appreciate you and everything that you and the coaching staff have done and are continuing to do for the boys. Again, job's not finished. And so we hope that, you guys continue to put in the game plan so that we can be victorious. Now, I did comment after the game, did you wear your normal shoes and pants? Did you deviate this past week, or you going to keep everything the same like you did last week?
Keeping everything the same. Everything's been the same since Venice. I'm not changing. I found a silver lining within that Venice game, even though I wore it. So I'm going to keep that to myself to the end of the season. But I found a silver lining, and it's been working ever since. So I'm going to be wearing the same pants and shoes until the season's over.
Man, you got me choking over here. No, that's what's up. That's what's up, Coach. We're done. At the end of the show, normally give you the last word. So go ahead, Coach. Talk to the people and give them your best feel for having them to come on out and be with us this coming Friday.
Like I said before, I think this is going to be a special year. I don't think the season's going to be over Friday. I want everybody to be a part of what we're going through, or what we're going to hopefully end up doing in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Don't make Thanksgiving plans, because I really do think I haven't made any plans. So I really do think we're going to be playing after Thanksgiving. So, the kids really need that energy. They feed off of that. The more people, the hungrier they are. And I just, like I said, I think this is going to be a special year. And I want everybody to be a part of that. So please come out and support.
That's what's up. That's what's up, Coach. Yeah, I'll definitely be there. I'll be live at 7 o'clock, or probably about 6:50 or so. Hopefully, I'll get on the field and continue to do our normal thing with the live stream. And so, and those of you who are watching this past Friday, for whatever reason, my iPhone 13 just kept freezing on me during the second half. So I think we were live for a moment, and then with about 5 or 6 minutes to go, it kind of stuttered. So, and then we had to restart. So again, just want to say a special thanks to those of you who came on back, watched the ending of a wonderful game, and we got the win. And of course, again, we're going to play North Hollywood next week, and we need everyone who possibly can be there to come on out and let's support our Pali Dolphins. Coach, thank you for another episode of This Week in Pali Football. We're going to do it again, once we win this game. Yeah, we're going to have another week. So, I appreciate you hopping on, man, especially on this Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans who are watching. Happy Veterans Day if you serve this country. We thank you for your service. And, Coach, just hang out in the green room. I'll close up the show, and then we'll come back and chat it up for a few more minutes after the show.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So there we go. A wonderful, wonderful show. A wonderful opportunity to, for Coach to kind of talk about what happened this past Friday against Southeast and going forward for this week against North Hollywood. So we're on the road again. We want this season to continue. We want the boys to be happy, locked in, focused. So parents, whatever you need to do, make sure that the boys are happy, that give them what they need so that they can really focus and, prepare themselves for this upcoming matchup against the 11-0 North Hollywood. And it looks like they're Huskies. Let me double check. I think they are the Huskies. Let me see here. Let me look at the preview and Max Preps. Yes, they're the Huskies. So come on out. 7 o'clock this coming Friday, North Hollywood. We'll put some things out on social media to help you understand how to get your tickets and where the address is for this particular school. So other than that, I am Facebook James or Mr. Riley. I'm coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace out. See you Friday.